All right, we got the Lakers. They got smoked by Golden State in their first game. They play the Clippers tonight, who they've lost 7 straight against.
Yeah.
In game 1, LeBron dropped 31, 14, and 8.
Oh, quick, by the way, shout out the NBA. Stat adjustment this morning.
They gave him
an extra rebound. So 31, 15, and 8.
Okay.
For the third oldest player in the league, a guy in year 20. If LeBron doesn't play another game all year, it's already the best year 20 anyone's ever had. Look it up. Go ahead.
All right.
AD had 27.
AD had 27, and Russ had 19 coming off the bench.
Oh, he didn't come off the bench. He came off the bench in the preseason. He started their game.
Which is why he had 19.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Well, LeBron's already making excuses, saying it's not like we've got lasers on our team or anything. Are you mentally prepared for LeBron's evolution as the good guy, the guy with good stats on a bad team?
Oh, yeah, I'm mentally prepared. And the Lakers stink. And he's right about the shooting. I mean, it's a terribly built roster. It's just idiotic the way they've built it. They have, right now, the worst starting backcourt of any team that's not tanking. A Russ, Patrick Beverly backcourt is just insane, and it's what they're rolling with. By the way, I should have mentioned this. We're live on YouTube, so you can do comments or questions in the chat, and in the C block, we'll get to them. The Russ thing coming off the bench thing, though, is interesting. Because so Russ came off the bench in the final preseason game, DeMonze.
Right.
And then said he tweaked his hamstring. And then they started him in the first regular season game. And he was asked about the hamstring. And, you know, Russ historically doesn't love the media.
Right.
And he was asked, like, hey, do you think part of why you hurt your hamstring was, like, your body's not used to, like, coming off the bench, you weren't warm? And Russ's eyes lit up and was like, absolutely, I think that's part of it. I've been doing one thing my whole career, and I didn't know what to do, and this or that. There's odd, call it rumbling speculation, that Russ's hamstring injury was a warning to the Lakers. You asked me to come off the bench. I can't guarantee you, like, my body can do that. Because, by the way, obviously the best move for the Lakers is to trade Russ. But in the meantime, their next best move is to bring him off the bench for 2 reasons. One is they are eventually going to trade him. So develop your starting lineup and your chemistry within that unit. And while he's there, maybe the best version of him would be running his own unit for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? A half. He'd play more than 5 minutes a half, but running that second unit for 5 minutes a half, all of that makes a lot of sense. And there's also been, and I'm going to talk about the Russ trades in a moment, there's also been an odd kind of backlash to the backlash. And Barkley did a thing. He was like, trade him. This is ridiculous. You've stolen his joy for the game. Okay. Obviously, Russ and the Lakers hasn't worked, and I'm a Russ fan over the totality of his career. But there is some accountability on Russ's behalf, not just in that he hasn't played well and he hasn't evolved as a player or adjusted his game. He opted into this contract.
Yeah, I was going to say, he could have got out of there.
Could have left.
Right.
And gone anywhere he wanted. He chose, which is his right, and the vast majority of people would have done it, the $47 million he's owed under the player option over being in a situation where maybe he's more appreciated, has more freedom, can play his game, whatever. So I'm not going to be, playing any violins for Russ being in a bad situation when he had a player option and opted in because, more power to him, he wanted the $47 million. I don't blame him for that, but that is what happened. Now on the trades. There's a lot of talk right now, and this is the only place I'll defend the Lakers. I won't defend them in their offseason signings. I won't defend them in the lack of shooting. There is, before I even get to the Russ trades, one other thing about that game. Anthony Davis was unbelievable in the first quarter.
Yep.
And then the next 3 quarters, he did the same BS he's been doing the last few years and just kept shooting jump shots. Over the last 2 seasons, prior to this one, the single worst jump shooter in the NBA, 35% effective field goal percentage on jump shots, Anthony Davis. He either needs to fix his shot or play the position he's meant to play, which is center. Because in the first quarter, he was playing center and against Golden State was dominating their front line. And then he started floating around and doing this nonsense and wasn't that good the rest of the way. Now on the Russ trade. Yes, they could have traded him for Hield and Turner, and you include the picks. Where I will defend the Lakers on not making that move is this. I believe, DeMonze, because of Big Vic, Victor Wembanyama, and Scoot, who's going to be the number 2 pick of the draft, who would be the number 1 pick in almost any other draft. Because of those 2 guys, there is going to be an unprecedented number of teams that quickly this year decide, yeah, we thought we were going to try to get the 8 seed, but we are out of here. We're trying to rip it down. Charlotte's an example there. Portland might end up being an example there. Utah is already there. Because of that, I think there are going to be more players available than in years past. So if the Lakers want to hold their powder to see, okay, we know we could get Turner and Hield. What if we can get a better package from Portland or from Charlotte or a team that decides...
As far as like picks is what you're saying?
As far as players.
Okay.
Trade Russ and picks for rotation players this year. I think that's why they haven't made the trade. It's also why discussing the Lakers is kind of crazy right now because this is not the team they're going to have.
Yeah.
Once they make the Russ trade, we'll see who they're going to be, and then they can be fairly evaluated. Either way, it's going to take a minor miracle for them to be a contender.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.